Well, we see it last week. If you don't take your opponent serious, and the next thing you know, you give these guys confidence this late in the ball game, they find themselves in the ball game, and you look up, you're like, well, damn, they're not going anywhere right now.
Yep.
And that's what you're supposed to do, Skip. If a team that you're better than, you come out there with a focus. And I'm a firm believer in this. You respect everyone, you underestimate no one, and you'll be just fine. Mm-hmm. But when you start looking like, man, look at their record, man, they can't go. And next thing you know, you're fighting for your life.
Yep.
It's going to take a quarterback. You're going to have to play perfect over the next 5 minutes for your quarterback to go 98 yards and get you into the end zone, or you're about to lose this ball game. Mm-hmm. But I think they realize they've watched the tape on the Jags, and they see that the Jags are a team that could beat them. I don't think they took the Texans serious enough and didn't think the Texans could beat them. I think they look at the Jags and know the Jags can beat them.
Yep.
Because they're on the road. And Trevor Lawrence, with those receivers, they can make plays against you. ATN, now he got a little nick last week. It'll be interesting to see if he's able to go.
Yeah, I think he will, but go ahead.
They can run the football, which has kind of been a problem here at some points in time in juncture during the season for the Cowboys. But, yeah, I think they're going to take these guys serious. Now, the Cowboys have won, a bunch of games in December going back to last year. The Jags need this victory in order to keep the pressure on the Tennessee Titans to win that division. But for me, Skip, look, if the Cowboys – I agree with you. You said that you believe the Cowboys have started looking forward to the Eagles since they lost to the Eagles.
Yep.
And nothing else really mattered. Well, nothing's going to matter. You'll render the game against the Eagles obsolete if you were to lose this one. Because ain't no way they lose it, because you guys got the game against the Eagles, and then you're on the road the next 2 weeks. The Eagles are on the road against Chicago, against you guys this week and next week, and then they're home. So... And I don't believe they're going to lose. I don't believe they're going to lose.
They're home for the Saints and the Giants.
I don't believe they're going to lose both of those. I don't believe they'll lose those games. I don't. Anything can happen in football, but I don't believe they'll lose. But Dak, I like Dak the way he approaches that. Look, they ain't got nothing to do with anybody else. I mean, I just got to take care of the football. I just got to stop. I'm doing dumb things. I'm putting our teams in harm's way. We're playing too good of football in all other areas for me to do what I've been doing. So I like the fact that he's taking accountability. He didn't need to hear that from Jerry. He knows what he's doing wrong, and he's going to go out there and correct it. But yes, Skip, you have to take your opponent serious, because they have, even if they didn't have anything to play for, which they do, they got to keep pressure. This is a dangerous team because they'll fake punch you, fake field goal you. They'll go for it on fourth down the entire game. We ain't got nothing to lose.
Nope.
We're already supposed to lose. We're not going to the playoffs, so why not throw caution to the wind and make you play a mentally focused ball game for the entire ball game? Because that's what a team would do to you that really doesn't have anything to lose. But I think they're going to play it probably a little bit more square, because they want to keep the pressure on the Tennessee Titans, because they still have an outside chance of winning this division.
They're 2 back. Okay, they're 5-8. Tennessee has fallen now to 7-6.
Right.
And we still have a whole lot of football to play.
You do.
And at the end of the line, they get to play Tennessee, I believe.
Tennessee comes to them, though.
Yeah, at home. Yeah, at Jacksonville. Okay, here we go. I believe my Dallas Cowboy football season starts now.
Okay.
What have I seen the whole year? We've gotten to 10-3. We lost to Brady and company on opening night at home. That would have been your signature win at that point. We lost to the Eagles at the Eagles with Cooper Rush at quarterback. We hung in there 20-17 early in the fourth quarter, and then you know the rest of the story. We lost. Every other game that we've won, I just thought we should have won.
Right.
I thought they were all, you need to take care of business, and all those other games to get to 10-3.
Right.
Now you have a setup game to get to what should be the game of the year in the whole National Football League. But you need to go take care of one more piece of business that I think will be even harder to take care of than the Eagles game. I believe it'll be harder to beat Jacksonville Sunday than it will to beat the Eagles at home, because they've been just spoiling for it for so long, and I've already booked it with you. I gave you 3 points. Now that game, we're going to talk about it in a couple of minutes here, it's been bet down from 3 down to 1, so Dallas is now a 1-point favorite over Philly.
It might be a pick'em by the time the game next week.
And what just happened with the Jags, we zigzag-jagged. All of a sudden, I look up and we open as a 5.5-point favorite, and the bettors are jumping all over Jacksonville because it's been bet all the way down to 3.5 points. Why is that? Because Jacksonville has won 3 out of 5. They've won, two of the last three, and they just went to Tennessee and destroyed Tennessee.
They did.
While my team required a 98-yard late drive to survive the Texans. And the bettors are saying, I want me some of that 5.5, and all of a sudden it goes down to 3.5.
Right.
So now it starts. Now you can do something special. I think they're highly capable of winning out the Dallas Cowboys, but they have to go to Tennessee 4 days after Philly, which is going to be hard to get back up for it, especially if you do beat Philadelphia.
Right.
It's going to be hard to say in 4 days we got to go do that there to them.
And Tennessee might need that game to annoy the whole lot of Jacksonville.
They might, and it's going to be a big night game, and it's probably, if I know
cold.
Nashville, because I went to school there, probably pretty cold. It could be very cold.
Yes.
No, don't really know. It's kind of moderate somewhere in there, but whatever. And then we have to finish at Commanders, and that is no walk in the park, obviously. So, but it's there. Can we win? Yes, we can win every one of these games. But what's the oldest bromide in sports? It's not who you play, or grammatically correctly, whom you play. It sounds bad, but, okay, but I'll go with that. It's not whom you play, but when.
When.
It doesn't matter. The who doesn't matter. The when matters. Because all of a sudden the when is wrong place, wrong time with Jacksonville. Because right before your eyes, they are coming of age. They have caught fire. They are figuring it out. Because they have a Doug Peterson who took the Eagles to and beat Belichick in a Super Bowl. And so they're believing in him, and they've been drafting so high. They're loaded with talent, and that young quarterback, would you believe that over the last 3 games, he is graded as the best quarterback in football because he's figured it out. You can just see it. Well, we knew he had the ability, right?
He won a national championship as a true freshman.
True freshman. And then we went through the whole spate of his quotes about, does he really care about football that much? I don't know.
He looks like he cared of me.
He looks like he's having the time of his life, right? And I look at the receivers and I say, Evan Ingram he just came back to life because he just dominated at Tennessee. And so you got him. And then I look down the rest of the way, and Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and Marvin Jones and Etienne. You've got weapons. Your defense is 15th in yards allowed. So it's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. And all of a sudden it's playing at a much higher level. And I also saw the stat that in allowing sacks, they're 5th in the league in not allowing sacks. So they're high in defending the pass rush.
And they got a mobile quarterback that can get away from the rush.
He can. What is he, 6'5"?
He's a big kid. He's like 6'5", 6'6". He's a big kid.
Woo-hoo. And he can move.
He can run. Yeah, he's athletic.
We knew that. It's just, does he care enough? Well, it appears he does. Okay, all of a sudden, my pass rush has turned into a pass hush because there's a hush in Dallas, Texas right now because they go as the pass rush has taken them. I said it before the year. Go as far as Micah carries them. Well, right now, not being carried. So are they in danger of losing this? Well, sure they are. Because it took Dak just reaching deep.
It took you 59 minutes and 30 seconds to win the game on Sunday.
Because he'd thrown 2 awful picks, and then he reached deep down, man. And he impressed me. He just said, I got to do this. This is it, man. We cannot lose to the Houston Texans. And he pulled a rabbit right out of his hat, pulled an ace right out of his sleeve, and 98 yards later, they barely survived the Houston Texans.
He pulled that rabbit out of something other than his hat.
Well, he did. You know what? I agree. I totally agree. He did. Just when you kind of least expected it, he did that. And they did that. So
there was no indication that said he would do that, considering the way he had played up until that point.
Zero indication. Do I think they can win the game? I do. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it will go to the wire. I think the scoring will be somewhere in the 20s. And so I'm going to go 24-21 Dallas in this game because
they win but don't cover.
They don't cover. That would be a not cover. At 3.5 right now because if I were better, especially if you give me 5.5, if you could have gotten that early, with the way Jacksonville is playing at home, I just think it's going to be a battle. And I do think half of the Cowboys' minds will be on the Eagles.
I agree. I think it's going to be a very close ball game. I'm leaning towards the Jags, man. I want to take, especially with those 3, 26, 23 plus the 3.5 I'm getting. You give me 3.5?
No, I'm not going to give you any.
Come back.
I'm not going to give.
Not the Cowboys.
I just picked it. I just picked it not to cover.
You have the most valuable franchise in all of sports, in all the world.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I'm not betting on this game because all I care about is the bet we already have on the next game.
It won't even matter.
I need this to be over with.
You do really?
I need them to just go, and it's like, are we there yet? No, you're not there yet. You got to.
You do realize if you lose this game, that other game won't matter.
It matters, but it won't matter.
Oh, just matter to your pride, huh? Because you want to just like,
okay,
we beat.
Well, let me give you the downside to this.
Okay,
they're sitting at 10-3. What if, I'm going to knock on wood before I say this. Let's do worst case scenario.
Okay.
What if my team loses out? Is it possible? Sure it is. I just told you how possible. At Jacksonville, Eagles, at Tennessee, at Washington, could they lose those left? Sure they could. Okay.
But who could?
10-7. I can't. The math is almost like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Do they still make it?
Yeah.
Barely?
Because that means in order for somebody to pass them, that means Detroit would have to win out, but they've already beaten Detroit. Seattle. So I mean, who? The Jets.
But they haven't clinched a playoff spot yet.
No, that means the Washington football team and the Giants. So it's going to come down to them because they've already beaten the Lions. So they own the tiebreak over them because they beat them head to head. Seattle is done. So now it's going to come down if you were to lose out. Washington and the Giants.
Yep.
You get the Washington football team again. So that game might come down. The last game of the season might be determined who goes to the playoffs.
It just well might. Okay. I still believe heart and soul in my team, but it starts right now. I need my team to go and win this game and show you we're that good. We can catch a team hot and we can take care of them at their place. And then we'll be ready for the Eagles on Christmas Eve.
If the Vikings win one more game, I believe Tampa's going to win the South. They'll be locked into the 4 seed. The 5 seed, which I believe you guys, and you will not be disappointed with the 5 seed, because I believe you guys will be, obviously you'll be favored going to Tampa.
Yep.
Skip, that is the best scenario for you.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if you can guarantee me that 10-7 gets in, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm doing worst case scenario. But my point to you is I don't want worst case because I already predicted they're going to the NFC Championship game. Well, the way you do that is you go, what would that, if you go plus 4, 14-3. That's what you go.
Yeah.
You go 14-3 and say, here we are, we're ready.
Still can't be better than the 16-1. Eagles.
You sure about it? You sure? You sure they won't trip up?
Jalen Hurts already, you hear what y'all say, system, huh? Watch this system.
You sure they won't cry Eagles cry against one of those opponents? Maybe?
Really?
Who knows?
Oh, so who you got beating them? Chicago?
Andy Dalton? Huh?
Well, he is like a top 5 rated quarterback according to Pro Football Focus.
Hey, I would not write off the Giants in that last game. I just know this division.
Did you not
I have lived in this division my whole life. I know how it goes.
Did you just not see what happened?
And that's exactly why I'm not writing off the Giants. You can't, because that's what Philly is thinking. Did you see what just happened?
Yes.
Did you see what we just did to them? Yeah, I did.
So is Eli coming back? Is Phil Simms or Eli coming back to play quarterback?
Daniel Jones is coming back.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just saying that in this division, you don't know.
No, you hoping. You think you're slick, you hoping.
No,
you don't know. You do know. You know good well the Giants are done.
14-3. And if that happens to tie the Eagles at 14-3, guess who goes to the...
Who wins the division, you guys?
We do, because we have a better division record.
But...
They lost to the Commanders.
You're not.
Huh? Okay, I'm just saying. We're going to the NFC Championship game. That's all I know.
I don't know that.
Yeah, good.
Because y'all probably going to have to play the Eagles. You might have to play the Eagles the second round.
You're going to have a long, hard play.
How the Eagles the second round?
Yep.
Jalen Hurts. Put it. This is why I'm the MVP, Michael. Right here.
Okay.
What I do to you. 300-yard passing, 120-yard rushing.
We may see them twice more before this is over, and we'll be 2-1 against them.
Y'all gonna see them twice. Y'all see them once more, and then they're gonna tail lights.
Out.
That's all you gonna see is tail lights, because they gone.
Okay. Here we go. All I care about is I'm keeping my mind on Jacksonville.
You keep on talking about they can lose out, we can win out, and we go win the division.
We're going to beat Jacksonville, and then it's on to Philadelphia.
You hear that, Trevor?
Yep.
You heard that, Trevor Lawrence?
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.